Welcome back to the Earthmade Garden. It's been a really wet spring here in upstate New York, so things are growing pretty well. I got some carrots in a few different rows there. There's cilantro there, and then this is broccoli and beets. This is garlic, and there's carrots in between the garlic there. So this is like mid-May when I'm filming this video here. I just planted out some melons. They're called Rich Sweetness melons from rareseeds.com. So they're little sweet melons. And then I got some spinach going over here and lettuce for salads, and that's corn salad. It's another type of lettuce. And then over here it's a mess. I haven't weeded much yet, but I did plant out some sunflower seeds in some spots, and they're very crowded out. A little while in the video, a little later on, you'll see where I do weed it out, and I didn't realize how bad they were choked out. So I'm glad I did weed that out. Got a strawberry patch over there, and then this is some summer squash I just planted here. This bed has gotten taken over by the blackberry bush too, and then which is going over the trellis. A lot of the vines died back, so I ended up pruning those back. There's some volunteer cilantro over here, but this is all mostly weeds. And same with this bed here. And I have my plants that I'm hardening off over here that I just took out of the greenhouse. This is the chicken's enclosed run. Now I turned it into a little medical grow over here with my herbs, and then I used to grow them back here, and I'm gonna just grow one there for now, and then I'll plant something else in the rest of those because I can't grow any more than those amount of plants. So yeah, you'll see more growth coming up on this bed soon. The carrots are doing really well. There's some dill in there too. The cilantro's right there. The broccoli's doing really well. This is the first time I've grown broccoli successfully, and it's starting to head up, which you'll see coming up pretty soon. Over here is the blueberry bush. A lot of the blossoms dropped early in the season, so we don't have as many as we should, but we still have quite a few blueberries over there. This is the corn salad, which is a type of lettuce, which I believe will seed itself again every year. It's somewhat of a perennial. The lettuce had just gotten, I think I watered it pretty heavily because it was really hot this day, so it was kind of toppling over, but that's the spinach there. Potato plant in there. I just had some potatoes that were sprouting, and I put one there. The rest of this bed is sweet peppers that I got as seedlings, since none of my peppers sprouted this year so far because I didn't use a heat mat and it wasn't warm enough in the greenhouse early on in the spring. And by the end of this video, they'll have sprouted, and I'll plant them out by the next video. And over here, I grew the same thing last year. It's these pole beans. They're big white beans that grow in pods, and you dry them out like dried beans. They just started coming up here. I direct seeded those. Here's another update on the carrots and herbs and broccoli and beets, garlic. And then over here is the jalapeno peppers, and I planted those melons in here too. And there's peas over here that I haven't trellised or anything, so they haven't grown correctly, but I finally weeded those beds there. And over here I planted some melons and calendula. Those are summer squash there. And then these are strawberries here. I really damaged the strawberries, so it took a while for them to recover because I had to move them quite a few times when I was redoing the garden. But they're finally living here and they seem to be establishing now. Sometimes I just water with a watering can if it isn't too bad, but then I'll do a good soaking with this whenever it's really hot and dry. The solar powered pump is still leaking a little bit when I'm using it, but I just turn the water supply off to it when I'm done, and I don't think it's enough to really even worry about replacing anything right now. I do have a replacement shaft seal for it, so if it really starts leaking bad, I'll change it, but for now it just kind of like slowly drips while I'm using it, so I don't mind, and I only use it for a few minutes at a time usually, so it's fine for now. It's still working good. So I didn't even plant any tomatoes this year because I'm just going to see what volunteers come up, because it happens every year where I plant tomatoes and then a bunch more come up from the year before. So not even gonna. I did actually plant like 2 seeds in the greenhouse, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I've never really grown much in a greenhouse in the summer, but I do have shade cloth on there, so I think it might be okay. We'll see. Here I made compost tea with the alfalfa I had grown out in my garden and some molasses and my worm castings, and I was just sifting out all that stuff for the tea. That's what I use as some nutrients. And was harvesting some lettuce and spinach here. Been making spinach with eggs. It's really good. Got quite a few blueberries on the bush. Sweet peppers over here. Waiting for some to sprout in the center there when it gets warm enough. And the potatoes, we had some bug problems, but I made a spray with soap and tobacco tea that I made with the tobacco I grew last year. I don't use tobacco really, so the only thing I'm using it for is a pest control insecticide spray. It looked like those bugs were having fun, so I let them go for the day. Update on the beans. They seem to be doing really well. I know beans are like nitrogen fixing plants, and they seem to have plenty of nitrogen because they grew here last year, and that makes sense to me why they are so nice and dark green. I'm propagating the blackberries over here and spreading those around, giving them to people and stuff. And just another update quick on the carrots. Stuff over here. Done a few successions of carrots. This is broccoli. Seems to be doing really well. The beets are doing okay. They're a little crowded, but I think they'll be okay as I harvest the broccoli and everything. Got a little bug damage on this one, but I used the tobacco tea spray with soap, water, and seems to work really well. More carrots and a little bit of garlic. The sour cherry tree is pretty crowded out by the blackberries, but these are hot peppers, the jalapenos, and the melons. They're not really doing too good yet. It's been weird weather this spring. It was really wet and cold, and then all of a sudden it got really hot. And so I think it's starting to balance out now. Oh, I realized I was overflowing my watering can. But thankfully we're getting more rain. We're getting a lot of rain this spring. This stuff was just getting too hot and dry too quickly, these little seedlings here, so I'm trying to soak them really good and make sure they don't dry out. And I had some carrots and beets over here that I seeded, so I'm just trying to keep those moist. Just don't want to mess up the seeds, so I'm trying to spread the water gently. And yeah, these are cantaloupes, I think, over here. Some kind of, I actually forgot what these were. Some kind of melon or squash or pumpkin, maybe. I don't even know. That's a pumpkin there, red warty pumpkin. And these are just peas that I never trellised or anything, so they're just kind of not growing right still. But got a little cilantro volunteer there, and there's some more sweet peppers here. The sunflowers are doing horrible right now because I didn't realize how choked out they are by those weeds there, which I end up weeding. Very soon you'll see I weeded all around the sunflowers. It was pretty intense because they were so choked out that the weeds were pulling up the sunflowers too, so I had to replant them. And so it wasn't the greatest. I should have weeded before I planted those, but I thought the weeds would just be good as ground cover, but they were just really taking over, so I had to get rid of them. These are the kiwi berries here. The summer squash, there's 2 in this bed. Along the fence in the grow bags out there are raspberries, and then there's hostas along the fence and lily of the valleys, and I actually planted a few pumpkins out there, so it'll be a little pumpkin patch over there. And this is alfalfa that I seeded here, and it's coming back every year, even bigger. So you give that to the chickens, and I make compost tea with it. And this is bamboo that's gonna spread out and make a bamboo grove. Roses from the garden. I made a little flower arrangement here. And this is a little update on this greenhouse grow here. I just planted these maybe 3 weeks ago now. There's also more potatoes in these milk crates over here. This is a perennial flower garden in front of our house. There's a rose bush here. It's doing really well this year. It actually didn't grow one year, and I thought it was dead, and then came back much stronger, and it's going crazy. And there's a hydrangea bush that'll be flowering soon. There's yellow and purple iris over here with more perennials. And over here, the broccoli is starting to put out heads, I think. Someone let me know if this is normal. I don't know. I've never grown broccoli. It looks like it's how it grows. Some carrots over here too. I thinned out some of the rows over there. And this garlic has a garlic scape on it, so I'll harvest that. That's a good sign. I think this one's gonna do well. This is also the first, hopefully, successful garlic I've grown. Probably needs more nutrients or something. Peppers are still growing slow. It's still been a little chilly besides a few random hot days. Same with the melons. But things are starting to establish and take hold. Just harvesting some fresh cilantro. Just love the way it smells. It's one of my favorite fresh herbs to keep in a little cup of water, keep it fresh in the kitchen, and use it as I need it. The summer squash has grown pretty well, and these kiwi vines are going crazy along with the blackberry vines. Getting quite a few strawberries now. This is a little alfalfa patch again, going to flower and then soon to seed. And it reseeds itself here all the time, and it'll continuously get bigger. And I use it for my chickens and in my compost tea for nitrogen. It's a really good plant to have growing. It's also edible. You can eat it for like salads and stuff. Yeah, I got strawberries growing everywhere, so I'm just checking here. Those are where the kiwi berry vines are planted in those barrels. In the back row there, Leica. Hello, Leica. Here's the spinach again a few days later. Gotta harvest that again soon. And the lettuce is already going to seed. It's getting hot randomly here. There's like a few random days where it got really hot, and then we got a lot of rain. And there's all these mushrooms growing in the raised beds. Some blueberries. I started weeding around the sunflowers and realized one of them was completely choked out by this clover patch that was here. So I saved that one. And yeah, here's the sunflowers. Mostly weeded. I weeded all that front bed. It was completely choked out with creeping Charlie and clovers, and I didn't realize how bad it was, but the roots were completely intertwined, and every time I pulled out the surrounding weeds, it also pulled the sunflowers out, so I had to replant most of them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Excited to bring you another update soon for an early summer garden tour, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for all the comments, and I appreciate your likes and all the support. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific you want to know or see, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.